Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name is Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis of data commodities. We're going to work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities and ETFs that I follow. If you need any help with anything, check out finding-value.com. We still have a discount going on. LEAP is the discount coupon code. It's for leap year. That's where I go over midweek updates and also question and answer sessions where you can interact with me directly. So let's dive in here. Let's see what's going on today, and I'll interject my financial opinions. We're starting with the dollar, and we've got a little bit weaker dollar. Sideways at best is what I'll say it. We're down 0.18%. So to me, it looks like the strength is still to the upside, even though we've been drifting a little bit. And it almost kind of looks like a flag pattern or some channel that's been pulling back. And we do have lots of support all through here. But today, down a little bit. We're seeing a little bit of increase of yields, like the 2-year yields moving on up, and that looks like it wants to continue higher. It's been drifting to the upside. Crude oil is a driver of stronger yields, and we saw crude oil with a little bit of strength today. So yields are moving on up, and I would expect that yields could continue higher for a period of time. The 10-year yield also looking like it's got a nice strong day today. We've got a bullish engulfing here and a bullish piercing here, which are bottoming patterns to go upwards. So I think that potentially the 10-year yield could see some strength. This is more or less a flag pattern where we could head higher in the future. And then we've got the 30-year yield. It's right on support. We have another bullish piercing where it gaps down. There's your opening price, and your closing price is above the 50th percentile of the candlestick before, which is generally a bottoming pattern to go higher. It's also more or less just a trend line break as well that we have broken and are starting to move to the upside. That's really what it is. So that looks good to go higher, potentially. TYX TNX ratio continuing to invert, not giving gold any help with increasing yields and the yield curve of the 30-year and 10-year inverting some. Bond prices, the 20-year, down a little bit. And if yields go up, I would expect this to go down. Although this chart here does look good to try to go higher. I think that yields across the board could go higher. So I do think that this could potentially head lower. I know we've got conflicting data here. And then the 2 and 10 basically sideways. It looks like that will invert further with the momentum going to the upside. Gold, we were down a little bit. This is holding on in the face of inversion of the yield curve, along with the strengthening of yields. So I think gold's just going to hang out until we get a falling interest rate environment, and then it'll decide to take on off again. That might take some time. Silver down a little bit, down 1.92%. I think this still looks good. We're still above the trend line break that we broke here, and this is the full retest. So let's see if silver can get its stuff together here. And then platinum down 25 bucks. It's just still moving around here at support. So big selling pressure day today, but we're at support. Palladium also down 3.44%, but this still looks like a bottoming process. Why do I keep saying this bottoming process? Because we squeezed up, squeeze, 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 squeeze. We got a big short covering here. So sold off into a bullish engulfing, and I do think eventually this will work its way on up. Eventually. Maybe we go sideways for a few months before that occurs, where we go kind of sideways like that and base out for some period of time. And then eventually we will work our way higher. So if I were to guess, platinum and palladium are trading very similarly. We're probably going to base out for a little bit longer. We're waiting for the right conditions, and then I think we'll start to take off. XAU to gold ratio still going down lower. The gold and silver mining companies just not outperforming the metal itself. They're still underperforming, and it still looks like total dog CRAP at this time. We need to see a turn here for me to get bullish. We got to see this break and start moving. The CRB index, it's up today, up 1 point whatever percent, 1.04. To me, this looks like it's squeezing up, ready to break, and that is mainly driven by oil. The CRB to S&P 500, it looks like we're trying to put in a bottom, big bullish engulfing today. Maybe we can start working our way up, which is driven by oil, oil. So that could be potentially bottoming if oil gets moving here. So GDX is down. It's trying here. It's not going down much, much further here. We just got to see it turn and go. Let's turn and burn. GDXJ's same thing. It's a small, just down candlestick. We're waiting for a buying pressure candlestick to show up, and it could occur. We very well could see it very soon. SILJ, same thing. It's holding on. It's holding its basic support, and we just need some buying pressure for me to be like, yep, it looks like it's good to go. Crude oil up 1.44%. We're right underneath resistance. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we can punch through this baby. If we punch through it, we could see SPR releases out in the future as they're going to try to control gasoline prices around the election. TTF gas up 5%. That's looking a little bit better, but we need to keep going. Natural gas right now is in a not really a huge glut. It's a little bit on the soft side, and inventories are a little bit more full than what we would like. Put it that way. So TTF gas, yep, it's still pretty weak. Natural gas in America, it's also still weak. We were up 1.2% or so, but it's going to take some time to bottom, much like platinum and palladium are bottoming too. XOP, yeah, you know me, up about 0.5%, still looking good in my opinion for further upside appreciation. And hopefully oil gets its butt moving to help XOP get moving on up. Big picture view, shoulder, head, shoulder, and hopefully we can break. OIH also holding on. Even though oil was up 1.4%, we're just sitting here probably waiting. And remember, a lot of the energy service companies is not just oil. It's a combination of oil and natural gas. And what the energy service companies are being subjected to right at the moment is a little bit weaker natural gas market. They're going to have to pull back on spending based off of natural gas pricing. I think this is a really good setup for energy service, for natural gas. We've got a wall of takeaway capacity coming that we're going to have to drill for. We've got very low inventory of drilled uncompleted wells, low inventory of natural gas, most likely as we kind of stop drilling for natural gas in the short term here. So I think we're going to get a convergence of bullish market conditions for both natural gas and oil at the same time, which is going to be good for energy services. Sprout Physical Uranium Trust is up. Momentum still to the downside. We have to wait and see what we get with follow through here. If we don't get follow through, we could easily roll over. So again, patience. It's going to take a few trading sessions for me to really be able to give you any sort of confidence if we're going to try to base here, or if this is just going to roll over and go lower. I'm most likely probably in the camp that this could potentially still go lower. URA up 2%. Not quite a reversal candlestick, but it's getting closer, and we'll see. Momentum's to the downside. We got to either base this thing out or it's going to roll over and head a little bit lower. URNM, again, momentum downside, and we still need to see some strength, a potential base here before moving on up. URNJ up 3.18%. Again, momentum down. We need to base out, do something here for me to get more bullish. TAN moving sideways. The solar stocks, I don't know if these guys are making any money, but increasing interest rate environment, I do think we could potentially head lower. Copper heading a little bit lower, and we are seeing manufacturing PMI starting to turn, I think, which will be good for copper, but interest rates are also kind of a headwind for copper. It seems like interest rates going down has been a tailwind. Interest rates going up is a little bit of a headwind for copper. COPX a little bit lower off copper prices moving down, but still looks okay. We're just bouncing sideways. Lithium moving on up today, 1.2%. Is this a bottom? This is an ugly looking chart here, guys. It's looking ugly, and to me, it just looks like we still need to puke more. Usually, when you come up like this, it wants to puke to the downside. So I'm gonna hold myself. I don't think it's ready yet. Wait, REMX doing kind of something similar here. Some people say, is this a shoulder, head, shoulder? It could be. Let's wait for the break. And if it breaks, I would say it looks decent. A lot of the time, this goes up with interest rates going down. So if interest rates are going up, it could be a headwind for it. S&P 500, a little bit of selling pressure today. It's not huge. This is definitely not something to say that this is turned. So it looks like it's coming to the tip, and we'll see which direction it breaks. My guess would be lower, but because it's a rising wedge. NASDAQ also down a little bit, but still looks good. If it wants to go up, it better do it here. Right now, it looks okay. KRE down a little bit, but we're still just bouncing sideways underneath resistance support, which is right above us. Emerging markets down a teeny bit, a little bit, sideways dollar, a little bit strengthening of yields, but this still looks good to go up. XHB still working its way on higher. Momentum's to the upside. Looks good for XHB. MOO down a teeny bit, but still looks good to continue on up. We are kind of above this support level, and we're going to use that as support. Iron ore down a little bit. Momentum's to the downside. Hasn't turned yet in the short term. Nickel looks like it's bottomed, and it's going on higher. So nickel looks really good to move on up. That looks pretty much like a bottom to me. Aluminum moving sideways. It's still in this big bottoming process here. It's stuck probably between economic growth and recession. So it's just sitting there moving sideways. Baltic Dry Index ripping to the upside, 6.5%. That looks good to continue higher. Looks good. Newcastle Coal Futures, which I think Baltic is tied to. This looks good to go higher. This is definitely bottoming. So I think we're getting closer to the bottom and the eventual move to the upside. Coal companies could be something to look at. Bitcoin ripping to the upside, 5.34%. Definitely a strong day today, looking good. Ethereum also looking pretty good. Momentum's to the upside, not much selling pressure. Still looks good. And then SMCI, it is putting in some sort of flag pattern or something. We'll see what that looks like and what that turns. And then NVIDIA, let's look at NVIDIA. Nah, it's just moving sideways. Not much really to say there. I really don't like when things go like this. When they go vertical like that, when you got to get like, all right, let's look for a top. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website if you like. LEAP is the coupon code. And that's all I've got. So I'm watching oil. Let's see if we can break here. We'll catch you guys later. This is Finding Value.